Greeting, ladies and gentlemen. And if that is not an adequate description of me or you, at least it is our aspiration. Indeed, all the good qualities, all perhaps the old-fashioned qualities that go into ladies and gentlemen. And we welcome you. We're back, and today I'd like to take just a little bit of time on this Thursday evening to tell you three stories that will help you better understand what you need to be a Christian entrepreneur broadcaster. I'm going to challenge you to be just that, a Christian entrepreneur broadcaster. And to do that well, there may be three stories you could find useful, practical, and helpful so that you could be better at business and be a better broadcaster. That's coming up. The program starts right now. Here we go. As we have joined eyes, hands, ears, hearts with people all over the world, more and more we are discovering that people are asking me to help them not only be Christian entrepreneurs, but with the podcasting revolution, just what we're doing right now, beginning to go and grow, and many businesses finding that's a part of their marketing and communication efforts. Many people who've got a good message, things to share, things they want to put out into the marketplace of ideas, they're finding that this new and powerful medium called podcasting might be something they would like to get involved in. Well, I've been doing broadcasting, well over 40 years around the world, Trans World Radio, Radio Netherlands, taught and trained by the BBC, the Beeb as we called it at that time. I don't know if they still do, perhaps. The British Broadcasting Company. I'm doing what I've always loved to do, and that is have a chance to be on the radio, and even more so to teach other people how they can be radio performers, how they can make their mark using the powerful broadcast medium of radio. And podcasting is very simply a radio program that is personal, and it's on demand, and it doesn't go through the air. It doesn't go through the traditional broadcast towers and transmitters. It goes through the digital internet, and as a result of that, it can spread all around the internet world, and it can do so for practically no investment, no expensive transmitters, no expensive towers, and no expensive even microphones. There's a way to do it with practically no initial investment, and I'd like to teach you how to do that. And so today, what I'd like to do is to share with you something that I recently shared with a group of men and women who are in the radio business, and they want to see if they can take the radio into what I'm beginning to learn more about is how to take it from on the air, towers and transmitters, and that kind of programming to internet on-demand podcasting. And so I gave that a lot of thought, but what happened was that after all that thought, it was just three simple stories that came to mind, and I'd like to tell them to you. I've told them many times before, but they came together in just the right way, and so here they are. Three stories for you. And it starts with just that. This is for you. A number of years ago, I was doing a late-night radio program. We called it Night Call because we were broadcasting from the Southern Caribbean. It was called Caribbean Night Call, and it was on a huge radio station in terms of power, 500,000 watts, 250,000 watts, shortwave going all around the world. And It was a program designed to help people kind of go through the night. Music that was comforting, perhaps encouraging, some musings, not any heavy preaching, not any education, but mostly just some thoughtful ideas and perhaps some words of wisdom, perhaps some words of encouragement to, as one person said, Caribbean Night Call helps me make it through the night. Something happened to me at that time because this was long before the internet, and from time to time people would actually go to the trouble, and of course it was trouble. You had to find a piece of paper, you have to find an envelope, you had to write the letter, and then you had to find a stamp and maybe pay for that stamp, and for some of the people that was an issue. And then they had to mail it, and then it had to make its way to our studio station, and I had to open it up, and then the communication would take place. Obviously, it took days for that to happen, unlike the instantaneous communication that you and I can have right now. And what would happen is people would request things. They'd request that we talk about something, or they'd like us to answer a question. But mostly, they requested music. They wanted us to play their favorite music, and in many cases, they would like us to dedicate it to somebody who they cared about, to honor somebody that was important to them. Sometimes they just simply said, I just would like to hear it, and thank you for the program. I remember one time it just kind of came to me. I don't even think I remember planning it. But what happened was that we got a letter, and I simply made the comment that I usually do, and maybe something like this. I think it was actually James from Jamaica. And I took the program as it came out of the news and say, and once again, welcome to Caribbean Night Call. This is Stan Houston helping you make it through the night. My friend James in Jamaica said that he's grateful for the program. He's been going through some difficult times lately, and he appreciates the work we do and the kind of good words through the night. But he also appreciates all the help and support that he got from his mother and how she's been very helpful to him through these difficult times. And he has a special song that he has requested. And so he has dedicated this song from James to his mom in Jamaica. And then I paused and I said, James, Mom, in Jamaica, this is for you. Just came out that way. This is for you. Well, it turns out that became kind of a signature slogan. This is for you. I'm playing this song for you. Just for you. The other people are free to listen in, but it's for you. And I was somewhat surprised to find people who said, say it again, Stan. Say it again. It is so nice to hear that something is just for us. Someone cares just for us. This is for me. And so that became something that I'm going to encourage you to think about. This is for you. This product is for you. This program is for you. This service is just for you. I'm thinking of you as I do this. I'm thinking of doing it for you, helping you with it. And through my years as a broadcaster and then many years as a business performance coach, I've learned the power in the words, this is for you. Think about that. Story number 2. Many years later, I was kind of recovering from a very difficult situation. Our work had not ended well, and I was in the midst of a career transition. There I was in my 40s, and much of life had kind of fallen apart on me. And as I said before, we had stumbled and fell, and we were trying to get back up again. That happens in life. And I remember I spent time trying to keep in shape by walking on a exercise treadmill And I was also listening to a world-famous broadcaster that I'd heard many years ago as a younger man, and it was called Earl Nightingale. And he was known for his radio program. He had this deep bass baritone voice, classic broadcaster. And he then went on to do motivational and personal development programs. He and a friend put together programs under Nightingale Conant and all kinds of then first record and then cassettes, remember them? And then, of course, CD programs where you could listen to these audio motivational programs. And I remember I was on the treadmill and I almost fell off one time when Earl Nightingale said this. I need to tell you this. If you really want to be successful in life and in business, treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. Oh my goodness. When I heard that, I almost fell off the treadmill. I had to stop it. I put the cassette back and listened to it again. If you want to be successful in life, treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. I'm sure I don't do that, but I try. Everybody is wearing a secret invisible sign, and I'll teach this to you. And that sign says, please tell me I'm important. That's right. When you go out in the marketplace today, tonight, tomorrow, I want you to imagine that everybody you meet is wearing a sign that says, please tell me I'm important. That's one of their deepest human needs. And then I just always remember Earl Nightingale in his deep broadcast voice. Treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. Story number 3. It struck me as I finally was trying to find out the road to success through people like Earl Nightingale and other mentors, trying to discover how I could be more successful in my life, because obviously I hadn't learned all the things I should have because I had stumbled and fallen. I did a lot of reading of St. Paul because I discovered that the key to success is actually in Paul's letter to the Christians at Philippi. A little 4-chapter leadership letter that has changed my life. And I'll share that with you. I've done it before, and I'll do it again, and I've shared it with people all around the world. I remember the one Texas cowboy who came up to me after hearing that message and said, next to hearing about Jesus, this is the most important message I've ever had. I'll let that sit on your head and I'll tell it to you sometime. But the key came out of this story about St. Paul. It seems that he began almost every one of his leadership letters with basically these same words. I give thanks upon every remembrance of you. I give thanks when I think of you. Now, sometimes these were people he was going to kind of put it to because they were messing up or they were doing things perhaps they shouldn't do. But he began, I give thanks upon every remembrance of you. Isn't that wonderful to hear? That somebody give thanks when they think of us? They're thankful for us. Aren't those wonderful words to say? You know, when I think of you, I'm thankful. And when I hear, Stan, when I think of you, I give thanks. That's it. 3 stories. This is for you. Treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. And hearing those wonderful words, when I think of you, I give thanks. I simply say if you want to be a successful broadcast Christian entrepreneur, and I'm going to try and help you do that, if you want to be successful, remember those 3 stories. In fact, perhaps if you want to be successful as a Christian entrepreneur, perhaps if you want to be successful as a Christian, perhaps if you want to be successful as a human being, those 3 stories can guide you in what to do and how to do it. Just let that 3 stories sit on your head for a while. I'm Stan Houston. RadioEdge77@gmail.com is how to reach me. RadioEdge77@gmail.com. I'll be waiting to hear from you and tell me how I can help you. And we wind it up, usually under 20 minutes. And hopefully this has been practical and helpful and useful to you. I would be grateful if you would show some consideration and gratitude. The Christian Entrepreneur Network is a nonprofit organization, and we can use some of your help and support. So if you could help me out and help the organization go and grow, I would be grateful. TCENglobal.org is where we hang out. That's our website. And if you go to TCENglobal.org/contribute now, that's TCENglobal.org/contribute now, and make a small donation or a gift, we would be very thankful. And no matter what, we are thankful for you. We think you're very important, and this program truly is for you. Please keep in touch. We'll come back this whole week, and this whole month. We'll probably spend time teaching you how to master the art of having great influence, real impact, and maybe having true rewards come to you as you learn how to speak and teach and reach out to others as Christian entrepreneurs using the modern media methods available to you today. All the best and blessings to you. Bye for now.